هتطلع في اللايف معايا؟
طب انت بعت في مكان يعني ولا؟
بعت كتير. خلاص احنا لايف. احنا لايف. كم واحد اتولد؟ 0. هتطلع في اللايف معايا؟ اوكي. الفنان اهو. الفنان اهو. الفنان اهو. لازم يكون متأخر، ما ينفعش يكون مش متأخر.
انت عملت ترند الصورة ولا ايه؟
ده؟ شوف. اتفرجوا يا جماعة معايا، اتفرجوا معايا. كبسوا كبسوا كبسوا. ماشي. استنى شوية. wait for people to come. مفيش people؟ لا طبعا في people طبعا. دي كده بنسجله وبعدين الناس تتفرج عليه، عشان كده كنت ماي جاد. فنان اهو، فنان. شعري كويس، شعري كويس، شعري كويس، شعري كويس، فنان، شعري كويس. ماشي. تقريبا هناخد okay. think يعني we should start now. think all good. Everyone can hear. أتكلم زي بس. Okay, cool. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about type safety. Type safety from the backend to the frontend using openapi, the openapi standard basically. So let's recap why we need type safety. Type safety just makes everything easier. Alright, so let's get a let's do an example. Now if we trying to fetch something from your backend, so we do a fetch HTTPS whatever localhost port 8000, and we ask them to do it right, for example, and then we just do a response and then we return here. Now of course this is in the browser, we don't have any types, but I think you do this.json like this, and then you do .then and you get the results here. But this result is not typed properly, so you don't know what you're getting. Like you don't have any autocomplete, you don't know what you're getting. And also the other way around as well. So if you want to send a body, send something here, I have no idea what the body is. So why we want? Because it makes communicating with our backend a lot easier from the front end, and vice versa. If you want to get a certain page, you don't have to know like what parameters do I need to pass. Usually it's page, but you get what I mean. Alright, so who I am, I'm a front-end engineer section and former competitive programmer, and most importantly an experimenter and explorer. I have 100 repos on GitHub that mostly experiments a lot with different frameworks, different technologies and stuff like that. Okay, next. Introduction, the challenge. Maintaining type safety across API boundaries. So API boundaries would include your backend and frontend. So if you backend and frontend separate, you want to maintain type safety. Alright, so what are the current solution that we have? So we have a lot of solutions, but let's talk about them like one by one, and we're gonna focus on specifically openapi. But server actions and TRPC, if you are in control of your backend, so you're using a full stack framework like Next.js, right? Like Next.js, or like newly 10 stack start, you can create a server action, and you can just call your server action, right? So you can just create a server action, you can call it from your client or your front end, and you don't need anything else, especially in 10 stack start. Everything is type safe, so you don't need to do anything extra from your end. But sometimes you're not in control of your backend. So that being, if you are using a service like Stripe or Lemon Squeezy or Shopify, you don't have access to their backend, but they do provide with SDKs, right? So for example, if you go to Stripe SDK, you would find for like Java, Node. I think there's also for the front end, the web, React, Stripe, S module, Stripe. Their SDKs basically. So if you're using a third-party library or third-party service, you would use a SDK. And the SDK usually is not just an API client. It usually gets all of utilities as well. Sometimes, if I believe in Stripe, you get the product class, so you can do like mutation as if it's a client thing, basically. Alright, cool. Now, openapi. What is openapi? You guys probably heard of Swagger. Swagger is a documentation tool, and it was very popular. It should still be popular, but basically your backend can integrate with this like plugin-like system or like decorator if you're using Python, and just generate a Swagger URL. Swagger docs, for example. Yeah, so you generate something like this, right? Okay, that was what's called Swagger 2.0 v2. That was what actually was popular, right? And then the openapi became a standard of its own, so it's now called openapi v3, and this is what we're gonna talk about, like the v3. Why? So basically, what is openapi spec? Openapi spec is just basically a standard way to document your endpoints. So you know, if you're calling this endpoint, you know if it's a post or if it's a get, or is it a delete, or is it what kind of parameters does it have, etc. Right? So now how are we gonna implement this from our end, right? Our focus will be on openapi and client generation with FastAPI. So client generation is just taking your defined schema. So this is just like a schema, like a spec, right? So your openapi spec specification here, you can put a field, right, on your stuff. We'll get into deep, like a little bit deeper on like what kind of, but you can see here like in your paths and your like, this is just metadata. But like you can do like post, I think here. Yeah, see your content, whatever, etc. Now using client generator, you can generate API clients. API clients meaning that you kind of have like an SDK of your own for your backend without like any extra fluffy stuff. You just have the fetching capabilities of the backend basically. So why use your openapi? Industry standard, language agnostic, so it doesn't matter what kind of language you use in the front end. You're using Laravel, you're using React, you're using whatever, you can still use it. Excellent tooling support. Yeah, so for the most part, I don't know if it's every language, but or if it's framework even, but for the most part you can convert openapi to a client fetching thingy, a client fetching basically, in any language, JavaScript, Go, Java, or whatever, etc. Okay, so let's get FastAPI models. Well, why we're using FastAPI as a demo here? Two folds here. So here are the three things. One, FastAPI models, you can just create the model, right, and you get automatic validation. Of course, it's a table, right? So your database does a validation as well because you put the type, right? but also in your code you get hints on your code. So if you're passing something wrong, it will warn you. And also schema generation automatically does the openapi stuff. So for example, if you're using the Django or something else, or like if you're using Gen from Go, they don't have openapi integration built in. FastAPI does. It does have openapi built in. And then documentation. So what I mean is, you can generate like documentation instantly without you having to create it. Like with usually when Swagger UI, you should you provide like a YAML file or a JSON file that's generated afterwards. With FastAPI, this is done automatically basically. So let's like explore a bit on FastAPI. So here's my backend code, and let's go. Backend code. Okay, here. Let me. Oh, cool. Let's go to the app. So this is where you initialize your backend, and this is how the app is structured at the beginning. I get the project path, and the parent, whatever. I'm not really caring about that, but what we care about is our routes, and that is includes routes here. So when we create routes, basically this is just the endpoints in your backend. And in Fast API, if we go to our to-dos routes, here you create a API router and you prefix it with the slash to-dos. You give it a tag. It doesn't really matter the tag, but this is the tag. And then here is the great thing about Fast API. First of all, session is just a connection to your database basically, and it is like already a validated thing. So for example, if I pass a number here, it will complain. It should complain, but I think it's because I'm not running my server. But let's go for example. I want to give a better example here. I'll get to do. Alright, for example here, I believe if you remove this, it will complain if you run the dev server. But let me give you a more better example. I don't have a better example here, but let's run the server. Let's run the server first, and then we can circle up the errors that it produces. Okay, how do you run the? Okay, so I'm using UV. So let me sure that UV sync is on, and I'm already in the env UV run fast API, and then run app/main.py. Okay, cool. And we can go to this API. We get hello bigger application, right? That is coming from this one. This is we're not gonna get too deep on the fast API, but what we get here, basically our root and then our to-dos here. We get every endpoint and what kind of method did it use, what kind of parameters. I think that's like very familiar. Like everyone have seen this kind of documentation before. This is nothing new, right? But we can rake some habits. So if I delete this to do, sometimes it's inferred. You can infer what kind of it's returning. Sometimes it's not inferred. So I want to, for example, here, if I do not infer this, does it happen? I think. Where is it being used? Here. Yeah, it says the type of any, which is not inferred. But if you have the type, it will infer it as a string, because this is what we have in the model. I think, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but usually it should be inferred from somewhere. Like if you're not hinting properly, if if the app can't infer the type, it will complain. I remember it. I think it's in the models. If you don't do a correct inference on, for example, okay, so this is all good. Oh, here, if I don't infer this, it will complain. Surely it will complain, right? Because it cannot infer what type it is. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Sorry, I think I had to restart it, but yeah, here we go. So it's saying here that the type requires annotation, so you cannot have it without annotation. I don't know why. I think I didn't have it in watch mode or something, but as long as you have type, see, it will work. So yeah, in the model, if you're not typing the thing appropriately, it will throw an error, which is good. Like, you should have everything typed properly. Okay, so what is Pydantic? Pydantic is just basically an extension of the hint system in Python. Basically, we're not gonna get into Pydantic that much, but basically, with Pydantic, you can create extra rules. For example, your string, you can add extra rules to it to match a specific pattern. Or if you, for example, I have here a route that here I annotate the limit to be an int that is less than 100, and by default it's equal to 100. That's fine, but this is the part that is Pydantic specific, which is I'm hinting that the limit should be 100 or less, basically. Okay, let's not talk about it that much. Okay, so what's so great about FastAPI, right? So FastAPI generates a openapi schema by default. So if we go to FastAPI, openapi, here we go. FastAPI features, and then here we go. Based on open standard, openapi for API creation includes declaration of pass parameters, requests, and site. Automatic modeling documentation with JSON schema, and openapi is based on JSON schema. So we get automatically documentation, so Swagger YAR or redoc, and also you can extract the schema directly. So I believe if you go to the openapi, I go openapi, and then here, yeah, you can generate Swagger, HTML, or I believe you can extract I have the commands here, but I don't see it in the docs, but I have the code in the database. Okay. Okay, so in the database on the backend code, we have this part. One sec. This part, which is where was it? Generates. Yeah. So get openapi is basically gets you the, here we go. So when you create a route, you can use the get openapi to basically generate the schema, basically, and you can customize it with the title, version, whatever, if you need it. So I have it here that is just having a title, a version, which is just the app version, and then the openapi version, and then description. Get it from the HTML here, and also I do get the routes. So this is the most important part, routes. You want to make sure that you have routes, right? Now we'll talk about workflows in a little bit, but I just wanna show you guys how we can generate the client. So how do we do that? We do this by running a command. So one sec. Basically, we just need to run this, and we will create an openapi schema. First of all, let's do that. Okay, here's the command. So basically, I'm just running this script that I have to generate openapi schema, and if I do like that, it will generate this openapi JSON, and then we can format it. And here is just an openapi schema JSON, right? Now, there's a lot of information here, but basically you have the title, the description, the version of the app, not the version of OpenAPI here, the version of OpenAPI, and then we have the passes, right? So we have pass the to-dos, and we have the to-dos ID, and then we have the home route, right? And then in to-dos we have a lot of like a post, right? And then a get, etc. Your methods, and then components here is just and the $sign ref is just referencing a schema basically. So there's validation, errors, etc. So your API does validation automatically when your params comes in to your backend. When your params comes automatically from your backend, from your frontend, I mean, you get validation before it's even executed. Now, here you can even synchronize patterns. I had a custom pattern for the public ID, and it can validate that as well, right? Now, this is not useful. Like for us, this is not useful. We just know the passes. Well, how about the client, right? So this is the most important thing. So, generating the client, there's a lot of ways we can generate the client. So, let me just switch you to the browser again. Okay, so let me go to OpenAPI client generator. Okay, so I think there was a official one. Yeah, generators. Hey, here we go. Alright, so this is the list of generators there is. You can see there's a lot. So client generators you can from to ADA even. Android, Apex, I don't even know what are those. Erlang, GDScript, etc. Right? But we are experimenting with TypeScript, right? So there is a lot here. TypeScript Angular, Aloria, I don't even know what that is. Axios, Fetch, I have no idea what that is. jQuery, Nest, Node, Redux, RxJS, etc. Right? You have a lot of generator for every language mostly. There's also some that's not documented here. So one I like is Stack Query, and I believe if you go to the docs and then go to reference, no, it's like community, there, community projects, and you go to Kube. Kube is generate SDK for all. Here you go. It says JSDK for all your API, right? So just open API to TypeScript, React, Zod, Faker.js, etc., Axios, and Axios, right? You can use this. I tried it not a little bit harder. It's very verbose. There's a lot of things that you need to read about. That it's something that I can look into. But what I like is Zodius. So Zodius. Let's go to Zodius. That's not Zodius, something like that. Yeah, here you go. So what is Zodius, right? Zodius is a basically a route builder using Zod. So you can create your backend with Zodius, and it will generate a client and validate on the backend with Zod, and then generate a client that validates with Zod as well, which is so Zod is a validation library. It's very popular, but I don't want to create a backend, right? I want to create just the client, right? So there's another project that's called, one second, let me get it. It's called the openapi-zod-client. So if you go to openapi-zod-client, this is the project. It's yeah, it's still maintained a little bit, but you can just run a command and you give it the input of the JSON, and then you can export a client, right? So this is very, 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 very useful. A lot of options here, but just the default one works for me. All right, so let's try it. So let's try. Okay, let me switch back to the backend code. And so we have now my OpenAPI schema, right? Now I want to generate a client for the front end. So I have a folder called SDKs, and then as a different SDKs for, but let me go to Zodius. Alright, so what command do I need to run? It's a very simple command. It's just nvx open Zodius, and then the pass to the open API JSON, and then the output where you want to output. So if I copy this and then run this, right? Alright, so done generating. And if you go here, we get this beautiful Zod schemas, basically, yeah, Zod schemas with Axios. Yeah, so Zodius is a combination between Axios and Zod, basically. And then here you can just make the APIs, and you generate an endpoint file, right? And you can just do a create client. So when I do a I don't think I need this. Yeah, it's not yeah, I don't think I need this, but let's leave it. So if you do, for example, API, or like yeah, let's remove that for now. Just call it API equals create client, and this is the port where the backend is running. And then we can just call API, and then from here we can do a lot of stuff, right? So what can we do? We can do call let's create a new one. Yeah, it does. So okay, here it's a bit not let me check the front end code, double check this. I am getting the right one, because I might not be, but let's me double check. 1 second. Here we have Zodius. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, I forgot how Zodius work. But here, so API, and then you wanna get request, right? So you wanna get request, and then you do just like that. You have autocomplete on your front end if you're using this in the front end, right? And then here, if you dot then the console log and you hover on it, you get full type definition, so you know what you're getting. So let's move to the client. So okay, so let's move to the slides one more time. Here we go. So why we're using FastAPI models, we just say automatic validation, schema generation, and documentation. Okay, IDE support, yeah, very good with Pydantic and Python hints. And the API is safe, type safe. You have to like add hints and annotate. You can like do extra even annotation if needed, etc. Very flexible. You can just do that. Okay, now the generated client. You can just, as you saw, just create a client, and this is what we going to do now. But let me go through everything first. So we can generate a client, and then we have the to-dos, get to-dos app. Oh, I think there's a typo. It just gets all to-dos. It says post a to-do, this update a to-do, and delete a to-do. Okay, before we go to the development workflows, let's go to our frontend. Here we go. Okay, frontend good. Alright, so here's the front end. I have different like clients, but basically I don't need this to exist. I don't think I changed anything here. Yeah, I think everything is good. I'm just gonna discard everything here, and then we just one thing I want to do is when I generate the client and I generate it here. Alright, cool. So what's happening here, I'm just getting the package that we just generated basically from here. We'll talk about workflow in a bit, but basically we just getting that thing that we generated in the backend, and then we are passing the path, the default, the base URL here, and then I just want to add one option, and it's Axios config, and then go here, and then I want to go to adapter and choose fetch. So this is basically an adapter for Axios to use the fetch API instead of using SXHR. I just like to use this. It's more modern, more secure. Well, not really, but I guess it's more secure a little bit. But I just like to use it. So yeah, just turn this if you like support to do stuff, like just use this, right? Alright, cool. Now I've done that. Now in your here, so I'm using 10 stack query because you should be using 10 stack query. Why you're not using 10 stack query is literally best. If you're using anything in the client, if you're fetching data in the client, use 10 stack query. There's no option not to use 10 stack query. Alright, anyways, so the actual fetching is just this. This is the code, right? So I'm fetching the to-dos, and I am getting in return a promise of the object, right? So let me return that. So this is just a query option, and this query option I am passing it to the loader. So basically in 10 stack query, I'm using 10 stack router, but it doesn't really matter here. Just this is a loader. Before the route loads, I'm just making sure that the to-dos query is like fetched right before I use it in the component. I don't think we need this. I think we might need to await this, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the details. It's been a while, but basically you just need to await your ensure, and you should be getting the data in your component. Now the component here, you get an error and the data, right? And the data is automatically typed. So if I go to data and 0 and then go, I get full type safety. Get completed ID, name, public ID. Okay, so there's an issues here. So you can see the ID looks like it's optional, but it is not, and the public ID is also seems like optional. This is an issue with the generation I did. If I go back to the backend, 1 second, and we go to the openapi schema. Here we go. I might not have the newest one, but let me see the get, right? The get, it is the params, the response, and it's a array and has items of to-do schema, and to-do schema has a property ID. Okay, so I allows this ID to be nullable, which is not correct, and also I believe is this optional. It might be. I'm not sure why is it showing. It might have been. I didn't update the schema, so it might not be updated in the front end. But I will show you like the workflow that I do. But let's fix this. Right. So if we go to the model, right? So this is where it's generated at. So we go to model, we go to do, and then we go to the model. See, I have it as int or none. I don't think I should have it as none at all. The default is gonna be I think you can support increments and FastAPI, but let me double check that. FastAPI increment ID, FastAPI auto increment. Does it not support auto increment? I thought it did. Let me double check here, like fast API auto increment. Auto increment. I don't see it. So maybe it does not support auto increment. I thought it did. I think it does. I am just not aware of the what's the okay, duplication as code duplication. FastAPI model. Here we go. So FastAPI model. Yeah. So where's models? Models. Input model, output model. Yeah, so you can have input and output models, and database model we probably have. Yeah, 1 second. So input and output model is just so if you're inserting, it's gonna be different params than what the output is basically. But I want to know like how model works, which is not documented here. I thought it was, unless I'm not looking in the right place. Oh, so this is learn. Let's go references. Features, nope, references. FastAPI. Model. Wrong spelling of model. Extra model, key model, head parameters, body model, openapi models. Is it not? Here we go. SQL relation create models. Alright, here we go. Also, I think I copied from here. And SQL tells table. This is just live decoding. It should be integer in SQL database and would be nullable. By having a type, it will be field it also index. Okay, so how do I increment? It doesn't show up here. Besides the point, I'm not a backend developer, so I may be missing something. But field. Alright, so let's get our big guns. Select Gemini. In FastAPI, how do you do incrementing ID? Okay, feature must comment, recommend approach, must okay. Auto increment equals true. Okay, cool. So we can just do that. have no idea what this means, but besides the point. But I think we just can do like auto increment. We do no default, we do primary key and integer and auto increment. Oh wait, this is using SQL Alchemy. I'm not using SQL Alchemy. Function of any, primary key function of any. But I think this should work. So if we do a rerun of this. Okay, so unexpected auto increment is not okay. So I have no idea how this works, but basically, because you had this as none, it shows up as nullable in the in your openapi schema. We're not gonna get too deep in that. We can have another time to explore openapi. I think we went deep enough. Oh, sorry, you guys didn't see. But if we go to the backend, I have auto increment here and it did not work. So I think I'm missing something. Anyways, not the point for now. The point is now in the front end. I just need like a good backend knowledge to like do this stuff. I usually don't create like my own APIs. Usually just use server actions because I control of my APIs. So in my example here, so what do I have? I have a add to do, and the add to do is just a hook that uses user mutation, and I'm getting the type of the to do from here components the TypeScript. Okay, so you can do this, or so this is another generator like that was created, but I don't think we can do that right now. So let me just get this back. Okay, it's a bit confusing, but okay, here. So this is the no, this use add to do. So use add to do is getting add to do, and this typing here, this is another generation that I created at TypeScript types. So I believe if I go to my fetch client and then go to passes here, so this is another thing you can generate. It's just TypeScript types if you don't need the zod and Axios combined. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but what we want to is, what if you don't have this, right? Well, you just won't have access. So I believe you can still do that. So you can just do zodius API. Okay, sorry. Let's do the zodius API dot so this is a post, right? A post to do's and here is the body, right? And I believe we can just get the type of this body by inferring. So you can do how can I do this? Okay, yeah, here we go. So we just go and copy this and just pass through, but I believe there's a better way to do this. I just one second, hold on. I believe we can just do, here we go. So I just use this because I'm having other demos. We're not gonna go into it too much, but basically I needed everything to be like the same type, so I extracted a TypeScript types. But no, you can get the type from here. You can infer it. How do I infer it? Okay, let me here I want infer the to do from the second frames in this function Can we get so interface mutation feels like check relevant code, understand the context better. Yeah, AI is pretty useful in this context. So I can help you if you're looking for the code you're using openapi generated standard. Let me modify the openapi TypeScript. I think that could work. If it just went back. I apologize. The program is the best approach. Which comes from your openapi is actually. What if I did not have this generated? Oh wait, this is yeah, no, this is Zod, right? So I can just infer the options, I believe. So Zodius API the okay. I don't need this. I just need to do type. Okay, stop. Reject all of this. So basically you can just do a type and then you can just create to-dos, and instead of this you can infer it from z.infer. Just import zod then infer, and just type of zodius dot schema dot create to do post, something like that. No, oh, dot body. Dot body, does that work? Body does not exist on type. It's a function and it gets okay the first params, I guess. Okay, let me do this. Type of Zodius API, and then we do a get, and we get to do, and we do okay. I believe you can just do params of type of this, and then you can just do the second one, and you will get a there you go. To do create, and then if we go to here, to do strong, deep only object params, no headers. So I think this has extra types that we don't need. And get method. Okay, so I think I can just infer the to-dos here. Yeah, and then I do that. I'm very confused, sorry if why is it so confusing. It's just getting a path, extend the zodius path by method, which is a get, and then deconfig, and API is just the definition that I have. Yeah, so this should work. Why is it not working? Type TS config simplify. Can I just do any? I just want any. Here we go. Oh, it's just any. So what is this type? This is a passive config of any, which is not correct. Okay, I'm not sure right now, but I will get back you on that one. Right now, let's just do like the component generation, or we'll talk to you about that one in a bit. But basically, we have a unified TypeScript, and then I will get back to you on the other thing. Okay, let's launch this actually, yeah. So npm dev, and let's go to the Zodis one. I get a network error. Why? Basically is because I think my other thing is offline. Yeah, I think it is. Okay, 1 second. Let's go to the browser, and we go to the browser. The browser should be here, and we go open localhost to lose. Okay, so it's closed right now, but we can, let me just run it. Oh yeah, right, I modified it, but let's go back and then run it. Okay, now it's running. We go to the browser again, and I'll say that. Okay, now we get the to-dos, and if we go back to the localhost 3000, localhost 3000. Here we go. And so it is. Here we go. Now we have the to-dos. Add it. So if I refresh this, just want this. Yeah. So here we're getting a to-dos that we get from our backend, and it works, right? And if you do a delete, or just send a delete to do number 3, and it will just like response 200, and that should be mapping to, let me 1 second here, will map to the use delete here. Use delete, it will just take a number as an ID. I'm unsure why I can't just get the thingy, but I mean like the type. But yeah, I'll put in the comment once I have a solution for that one. But I think you should be able to. I did it once just to remember like how the I do it, which is something like, right. So if you want to infer the type, you're not sure how to infer the type from the generated client, right? So you just need to generate your own TypeScript types, and then use that one, which is not like the best solution. I don't believe that's the best solution. You shouldn't be needing to generate two things that where the information only exists in the one thing. But yeah, but we can do something cool here, right? So I believe this is the body, right? So you can also pass another parameters here. Oh, sorry, this is add. Where's the get? Here you go. And this get, you can add a param. Is a config. Where's the params? Oh, here you go. Parameters. Is it the second one? No, just 1, 2 config path parameters. Do I not have parameters? I do have parameters in my backend. Checking, make sure I have a parameters in the backend, and I do. Yeah, so I have an offset and I have a limit. Why I don't have it here implemented? I forgot. Oh, here we go. Oh, is it params? Is it not params? Queries here, offset and then limit. I'm just forgetting how did I used to do it. Arguments? No. Let me go to live debugging. But I believe Zod open client. Here, make an endpoint, yes. Do this client, client instance, make errors, yeah. Oh, here you go, get user, oh, is it different? So this, am I getting trolled here? I swear it wasn't like that before. Could have sweared. Why can you do that? Oh no, I was right. So go back here, and it's called queries. There you go. Forgetting the params, but yeah, queries. You can do like the query here and the query there. But basically, you have the limit and the offset, which I had in the backend. And I think you can do other stuff. Just not remembering correctly, but oh yeah, here queries params. No, oh, this is a post. Where's the get? There you go. The third one. The option is query hash. Nope. So it's here. Params. Yeah, there you go. Params. So I was remembering this one. Yeah, see. So you can put the cookie, put a query, and then query here. Will get you the limit and offset. Yeah. So I was remembering this one. The params. Okay, cool. So this is just another client as generated. So this the generated one here just creates a the create client here just creates a 10 stack query client. It's almost like gRPC, right? But I don't like this approach because I'm tied to the query option, so I cannot like customize the query key, for example. So it just makes invalidation a little bit harder, but I think there's ways around it, but I haven't gotten deep into it. And the other one, you can just generate the types, the TypeScript types, and then you can just do a like this is just a simple fetch, right? There's nothing special about this. It's just a simple fetch, and you just here you just pass in the passes basically, and you just get put also like put the base URL. This is just normal fetching. There's nothing special about this. But I like Axios, so that's what I'm doing. And also like with Zodius, before you even make the fetch, or like the fetch, you get a runtime validation on the client before you even go to the backend. So for example, let me do imagine that we don't have TypeScript, and let's try to add one, right? To add a but we put the name, and this name is a number for example's sake, right? So this won't even go to the backend. So let's go to meld. So here's what I did. Okay, sorry. Let me repeat that because I don't think you guys saw. So we have the fetch, the normal openapi fetch. So basically, this is just a generic generic like fetching, and you just add TypeScript. There's no validation happening here. Just helps you with types. and this you have the query client. So this just makes a basically a ten-stack query. So the way you use this would be something like this. So you can get the options, and those options you can export the query key, or you can do like let me see here. So use mutation, put, and then like the path basically. So this is also like auto completes. See, so there's only one delete path, so this is the path you get. With Zodius you get runtime violation, and also you get Axios, which is I think is the best. Well, Axios is not really. Axios is a bit heavy, but we're using like, remember, if we are using like the fetch plugin in Axios, so a little bit better, I guess. But okay, anyways, so we're talking about how we're going to make the thing here. Let's go to the front end. Alright, and now if we click on add any name, right, and we submit, it's not even gonna submit. So it's not even like going to like go to the backend, because we have a invalid. It's not even going there. Like, I don't know why is it not like catching it here, but yeah, we're not sending it to the backend. Oh, here we go. So body param invalid, body param. Yeah, that's a bit odd. Do I not handle errors? All right, I'm not handling errors. You're right, I'm not handling errors, because in my query client, yeah, I set to false on the thrown error. But I think if we remove that one and then we do this, okay, it doesn't still, okay, I'm not sure, but it should fail. It does fail. I'm just not handling it correctly. Let me choose console log error. Console log error. So console error. But I think you can handle it here if you need to handle it. Yeah, here you go. So this is getting handled. So it's not going to the backend at all before you even like make sure it's correct in the front end here. So it's never. Yeah, so you think you just need to handle it here, like if you have a wrong thing. But anyways, so going back to the to-dos, if we do like that, yeah, sure, and then we fix it, it will generate, and then it will fetch, post, and then get us the thing. Okay, so strategies. Let's go back to the slides. You have the browser, go to slides, development. So you're back in define models, right? And then they create the routes, and then they generate the TypeScript client. So generating TypeScript client, you don't have to do it like the backend developer doesn't have to do it. You can do this in the CI, like how I have it here. Let's do the backend. And then if we go to our CI, where's our CI? One sec. Here we go, CI. Alright, so in our CI, here's what happened. So when I push to main, I do the following. I just install the stuff, install like UV sync, and then I generate the openapi schema, and then there's a few packages here, but basically generating a TypeScript type package that we saw in the front end, and the other one is generating an open like Zodius client. And then what do I do with them? I do is I publish the package. Here. So I'm going to the SDK, like basically the path where the thing exists, and I am publishing the package. So npm package, just publish your packages. I believe I don't have anything. Yeah, okay. So here I am the registry is going to the npm GitHub registry, not the npm registry. And if I go to repository, you can see this is the repository. Now once there's a build, it will trigger this job basically. I want to show you the job. 1 second. So basically, again, just getting models, getting routes, openapi-spec generates the TypeScript client, and the front end uses it, and then it uses it like value request or whatever, etc. But in GitHub, I believe I need to switch my browser. 1 second. Make sure that there's nothing open. Yeah, nothing too much is open. Okay, and fast backend. Okay, so let's share my browser, my other browser. Where is it? I think this one. Yeah, okay. Here's my backend in GitHub. And why is it failing? Oh, okay, so basically this is failing because I didn't bump the version. So if the version already exists, it's not gonna overwrite the package basically. So let's go through my action here. Let's go to action. Okay, so I'm starting dependencies, and then I'm generating the Zodius client, and this Zodius client is generated here, and then I'm doing a publish. Now what does this publish do? It just publish you our npm package. If you go to your private packages, I believe you can reach it to the, how do you reach it? I do not remember. Oh yeah, so you can go here and then you go to packages. Here we go. Yeah, so I have two packages, as the open Zodius and then the open API TypeScript. So if you go to the Zodius one, you can see this is 26 days ago. So yeah, I haven't been working on this project for a bit. It was just like a proof of concept. So yeah, basically here. So you can just download this. Now you can't download this because it's a private package, right? So if you're in a company, you would use your org, and your org should publish this package, not you. Not you should be able, your org should be publishing this package, and then your package should be available to everyone in the org basically. Now in your front end, if you go back to the front end, make sure I don't have anything exposed. Okay, I do have anything. Okay, let me just delete this. Okay, save now. Let me go back to the front end. Alright, so in your npm rc, don't commit this, or commit it. You can have it in readme, but basically in your npm rc you need to create a, I believe it was a classic token, and your classic token, just make sure that you have access to this. Make sure that you are authenticated before you get the package basically. So once you add this token, you should be able to pnpm install. Yeah, and then you make sure just you add file registry is in npm GitHub package, not the npm package. So when they see the your username, it's not going to npm, it's going to GitHub npm package repository. Bit confusing, but basically not, it doesn't go to npm.com, npmjs.com, it goes to GitHub packages instead of going to npm. So that's what this part does. Okay, now save this, and I think that's it. yeah, I think that's it. Do I have anything else? This is my slides. Oh yeah, by the way, for my slides, I'm using slide V. Well, really cool. You can just do like you can just like type code and it will generate your slides. Really awesome. Here we go. Okay, so that's for workflow. And then okay, that's it. Resources. You can go to FastAPI.com, Pydantic for types, and TypeScript openapi generator, example to do backend, and then they also have the front end. You can check the front end as well. Yeah. Okay, this is not a perfect stream. This is just first stream, but I hope you guys learned something at least. So just to recap, we had a fast openapi model, and that created a openapi schema, and that from openapi schema we generated the clients. So from the client, everything is type safe. As it's been a while since I opened this project. To be honest, I was planning this like a month ago. So yeah, kind of forgot everything. But yeah, I didn't have time. And so I'm just doing a stream. Make sure, like, hopefully like doesn't go to waste. Like the research around. I know like there was some hiccups here and there. Should have been more careful, but I think we got like through like the idea at least. I know like the implementation is not perfect, but the idea that you can just have your backend. Oh yeah, like we can go back, right. Yeah, so you just have your backend do their own stuff, right? And then during build or during like when they merge to main, it will generate the client, and then in the front end I can just like pm install or like npm install the stuff that I need, or like the latest update, right? And everything is typed like it's so easy. Well, it's not easy, but it makes everything easier. Like you don't have to define everything yourself. You get type safety out of the box, etc. Right? But yeah, I think my backend code was not good. It was so bad. I don't have experience in any like Python. Well, I do have some experience, but not enough experience in like backend Python. I usually just go like with a full stack framework like Next.js, and I use like an ORM for my database, so like Drizzle. So I like definitely FastAPI is something new. Like I don't use this. I think this is the first time this is the first time I used it. I never used it before. I used like the Flask before, the Django. Like I read some code on the Django. I didn't create anything in the Django. So yeah, definitely not a backend engineer, but yeah, that's it. If you guys have any question, like shoot me a DM on LinkedIn. So at Fatashan on LinkedIn, I believe should be able to LinkedIn Fatashan. You can search and no. You don't gonna do me like that, bro. Am I not that popular? I'm not popular? Oh my god. Oh, sorry. LinkedIn. What? Here you go. Yeah, just shoot me a message. Reply to you as fast as I can. Is this how it? Interesting. I should definitely update this. Yeah, shoot me a message if you have anything, or like put it in the comments. Maybe like we can do another Q&A. I don't know. I didn't check like if we have any like viewers. Well, no one had question at least. Well, thank you everyone who's viewing. Well, yeah. Thanks. I will stop the stream now. Adios.